We were looking for the corpse. We didn't know who it was.
Precisely. A new element has been added to the non-stop debates.
We're going to add something called Truth Flashback. Add a weak spot and hold down the triangle button. Then you'll memorize that weak spot. Can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. Okay, so now I can memorize details of what he said and use that against
So you could take a weak spot and then use it against another weak spot.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of like taking someone's contradiction and using it on their contradiction.
If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case.
And this is when it gets all over the place.
Jesus Christ. When you use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well, then good luck. So there definitely is something here, because that's why I use that tool.
Yep. So you have to memorize something.
Monokuma files. Okay, so yeah. Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting
That was it.
weird.
I needed to get a hold of that.
How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy! The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
you wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found his body. But
So
he
you pretty
was
much got a
acting
handle on how
weird.
it works.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker,
That's a natural reaction! The victim was Chihiro. No, it's wrong!
Right, okay. That's the contradiction, obviously.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
The fact that it was using an electrical extension cord to hang him up.
Oh?
Perhaps.
Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference between this case and the other murders. Could it be?
Make your argument.
Right. What do I have? Desk lamp. Account. Disappearing stick. I don't think the account would come in here.
What? The difference between the cases?
If anything, it'd be the best lamp that you might have to memorize.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body. But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Oh. Oh, that was
Yeah, that
close.
Nice.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord? What? An extension cord? Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
Especially since he's the only one who's been hanging out in the library.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Well, you did make a promise with Toko saying you would keep it a secret. So you knew Genocide Jack was here. He's doing it again. Totally calm, totally unconcerned. It's because we haven't brought up the fact that it was done in the boys' locker room. Not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. Is that just now something not right? There's something in there that concerns me.
The scene of the crime?
I got it!
Right, because he couldn't have been in the girls' locker
You
room.
say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
The rug and the poster. Did you just... Did I take you off guard? The story suddenly moved to the crime scene. Byakuya, who had been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual sign of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else is... I need to just focus on things that I got switched.
Like the poster. Or
Right. Or the rugs.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms.
The rug.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
Not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved because the rug in our room now has the locker. Or the
I got it!
stain.
The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too?
Which, if it had a bloody mess on it, that also means
That the carpets were switched into the other room.
exactly
But why
that she was
did
murdered
they do
in
that?
the boys' locker room.
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
To make it look like it had to be a girl.
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook
And to
across
get
the
her
card
from the
reader
boys' locker
device.
room to the girls' locker
But
room.
Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I
It
highly
was those
doubt that.
handbooks.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? It would have been Leon's e-handbook. Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible?
Or a
Did
truth boat
Chihiro
we
really
grabbed
have
from it.
gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
No,
Learned the
that's not
ultimate
it.
programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
But it's broken.
No,
Couldn't use them.
Alright.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts glaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It's possible.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
No, she definitely died in there. Is that it then? Killed in the girls' locker room, Byakuya. Really? Still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
what?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait! Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, alright then. I declare an official class trial recess!
Okay, fair enough. She's playing him like a fool.
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy!
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Alright. Class trial had been put on hold, with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was... the crime scene.
The crime scene.
The girls' locker room?
Yeah, we still haven't discussed the fact that our duffel bag's missing.
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands? No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Oh yeah, religious grounds.
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting your hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine the body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... what? This is... what is this?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
She's a guy. Staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form, Masa's frame trembled.
This girl is
Is what?
a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually...
Ah, I see.
What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then, it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy.
Pretending to be a girl.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
That was the short
Okay.
recess. Now the truth
Ahem.
is
I do
near.
apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
So, he would not have been able to get
access
into
to
the girls.
boys.
She would, well, yeah, he would have had access to the boys' locker room, but not the girls. So that also now means that we have to figure out how he got put in the girls' locker room.
That also explains why he was very
Hesitant to go in
Hesitant
there
to go
because he
into
would have
them.
gotten shot.
precisely.
That never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
And his e-handbook is still missing.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
And Monokuma was the one who gave out the handbooks, and he
knew
already
straight
knew.
away.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Another thing that probably would have given it away in the Japanese version is the masculine form of how Chihiro's name probably was spelt.
Perhaps.
That's just a guess. I'm not really sure.
I don't know either.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected.
Not all the mysteries.
All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
Just an accomplice. He's the accomplice.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery.
Because he knows who did it since he helped do it. But someone else was the actual culprit, which I'm guessing is little fortune teller over there.
The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
To create confusion.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
Which is never a good way to go.
Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro?
So that means Byakuya is out of the way and Toko is out of the way.
Killer is a guy.
I got it!
Because a girl couldn't have used Leon's to get in.
Right. You would need a boy's handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. Had to have been a guy. It's still not enough. I need more. Find some more clues. Let's see. Disappearing stain, Celeste's account. I think this one might be about Celeste's account.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did
Celeste's
it?
account?
Let's let it go on.
Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Alright.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over.
Fuck.
It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Yeah, I got it.
No, it's wrong.
Okay, so I was a little early, but that one was...
It was on topic.
Yeah.
I believe
just keep
someone else
agreeing with
did
people
see
and
the
we're
victim before
contradicting
he
them.
was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
Track jacket and a duffel bag. But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of
Because
time.
if
and
he would have
always
gone, he
declined.
would have died.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed. Oh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket you took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Wow, it's really hard to believe. Okay, I think this one's gotta be something that I grabbed from the conversation.
Probably.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
At all.
He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! We picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. This exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.